Let's see. Let's get this all set up. Hope you're on the same side as the comments, so I look like I'm looking at the camera. Surprise! I'm doing a Sunday night live stream. We're watching football. Yeah, what the heck? I didn't make a video on Friday. I'm not gonna make a video tomorrow, so I felt like that was a long gap in there, and I thought, well, we'll just do a live stream. So, how's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay? Hopefully. Kids are in bed, they're sleeping, so I can't be too loud. And my wife's probably gonna be in bed soon. She's over there somewhere. Do you want to wave? Wave.
I can come over and say hi.
You're confused. Why are you confused? Yep, we can hear you. Good.
Why are you doing a live stream on Sunday evening? Is probably what they're wondering.
Look, there's the
Hello,
wife.
everyone. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, get them in now because she's going to bed. Go Cowboys.
In a little while.
Yeah, we've got the game on in the background. It's almost halftime. I really could care less either way. So, what's up? Hi, everybody. Hi from North Carolina. Welcome. Good evening. How are we doing tonight? I'm doing well. We help with your withdrawal. Yeah, that was the point, since I'm not making videos for a few days here. So, house tour. Well, there's the kitchen. There's the fire. There's the front door. There's a hallway over there. And the kids' bedrooms are through that door over there. And they're sleeping. So that's the tour. From the couch. Who won the axe throwing? Well, so here's the deal, right? Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, yesterday we went axe throwing, that's a thing. And it was fun. It's kind of like bowling, kind of. I mean, yeah. But they give you 2 hours at this place, and you throw and you eat and you drink and you throw axes, and it was a good time. But we played probably, I don't know, how many games did we play? 7 or 8? Probably. We did not. 6 or 7 different games. Like the one that was just a bullseye and closest to the bullseye, and you get different points for the closer, And I think I did win one of those. And one of our friends that we went with won the last time we did that. And then
I won the first bowl game.
Oh yeah, you did win the first bullseye game. I didn't win that. What did I win? Something. Tic-tac-toe.
Right?
Candy Crush. Yeah, that's the one I won. They had like a Candy Crush game. You had to hit it, and you get points for how many blocks you explode. And it was fun.
We played tic-tac-toe a few times.
Yep. It was fun. House looks beautiful. Thank you. Hello from Charleston, South Carolina. Hello from Denmark. Denmark. It's got to be the middle of the night there, isn't it? 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Good evening from Northwest Ohio. Well, that's where I am in Northwest Ohio. BVF Cribs, yeah. When we were building the house, I kind of had this idea, like I was going to make a Cribs episode of the whole tour of the house, but it's never happened. So, what kind of planner did you get? What are you talking about, Logan? Don't know what you're talking about. Beautiful kitchen. Thank you. You sound sleepy. This your new house? Looks incredible. Yes, it is my new house, and I'm trying to not be loud because the kids are sleeping. Well-deserved break after harvest. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's winter, so it's slow season for us a little bit. Good evening from West Jefferson. Is that West Jefferson, Ohio? That's like 10 miles from here. I was in the middle of Brian's video, switched over to you, putting you first. Well, I'm live. His is a video. You can watch it anytime. So I saw he just posted one a couple hours ago. Oh, yes. 3 at night in Denmark. See, I was right. 3 o'clock. Hello from North Georgia. Northwest Iowa. West Jefferson, Ohio. Okay. That's pretty close, I think. Right? That is West Jefferson. Right there on 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Lutheran church there.
Yeah. Ready to see new planter. What new planter? In your area, when do you kick it into higher gear to preparing for planting? Well, so we won't start planting really until April. probably the end of April. Just depends on the year a little bit and the weather. That said, I have planted some beans in March. I would consider planting some more beans in March or early April if the weather cooperated and it was dry enough. So probably mid-February, we need to get planters out and start going through them. That's the plan. What mystery equipment are we seeing from the farm show? No, nothing's showing up from the farm show. At least not that I'm aware of. We got some stuff that we've been talking about, or some guys that we talked about at the farm show. We talked to the drip tape irrigation people. That would be really cool, but nothing happening there. So. Hello from Eastern Ontario. Hello. Did you guys get a new scraper? I swear I saw one in the background. Yes, I did. And we talked about that in one of the videos. You must have missed it. But yeah, we got a new little scraper. It's a Rouse 700, I think is the number. Something like that. A little 7-yard direct mount Rouse scraper. You know, replace our old Ashland that we got sold. So yeah. How did you fare during the last snowstorm? Well, that depends on what you mean by last snowstorm. Well, it doesn't really. It was fine. I don't know when the last snowstorm was. Oh, interception. We actually got a little snow today, maybe an inch or two, and we're supposed to get some more on Wednesday, I hear. The last big storm to blow through was right before Christmas, and we didn't get hardly any snow out of it, but it did get cold and windy. But we survived, so... Where are you hiding the 4020? The 4020 is in the back. It's in the back of the shop or in the back shed. Just not using it right now too much. We should get that one in the shop at some point. A little bit of snow here. Got a little bit today. Hi from Southern Michigan. Hi, Mom. She lives 300 feet away from me. 300 yards. Do you have off-road diesel storage on the farm? Do you only have off-road diesel? Yes, we do not have on-road diesel for the trucks. We talked about it, but we do not have it right now. I got some spring forage chop to mow. After that, plant some beans. Okay. What's in store for this week? Yeah, so we're still figuring out the plan for the week. I've got a lot of stuff going on that's not filmable. Tomorrow, Monday, and the reason I'm doing a live stream today is because I'm probably not making a video tomorrow. I have to go and pick up a heater. I bought a radiant tube heater for my seed warehouse and can save $175 by picking it up myself. It's just north of Detroit, which is probably not worth it, except for it's a half an hour from my sister and brother-in-law's, and I'm going to meet up with them and have lunch. So I'm going to go pick it up. So tomorrow's a road trip day. We may start a video, but probably won't have enough to actually publish a video Tuesday morning. And then the rest of the week, I think we're going to get the 4440 in the shop this week. Whatever day Brock's coming, have him kind of work on that. We'll see what else. If it's decent, maybe we'll get the man lift out and start working on installing a heater. I ordered some valves and stuff for that anhydrous tank, so hopefully that stuff shows up sometime this week. We can work on that a little bit. But other than that, I don't have a lot going on. Seems some viewers have an inside source. New planter, beans or corn? No viewers have any source. I don't know what they're talking about. You deserve a break. Only a select few post a video on a daily basis. Has to be nice to put the camera down for a while. Yeah, and it's not so much that I don't want to film. It's just, Friday we were in meetings all day. There's nothing to film. Tomorrow, if I'm on a road trip, there's nothing to film. So, yeah, they slow down a little bit here. But, yeah, it is what it is. It's not like I'm working on stuff and just deciding not to film it. So missed that whole Fort Wayne area. Well, we're a little more than an hour from Fort Wayne, but general area, sure. Go, Mom. How what? Huh?
How Indiana?
No, as HOW. Somebody just said how. Why do some farmers not like to say how many acres they farm? Well, it's kind of personal information. I mean, I don't put exact numbers out there all the time, but you have a pretty good idea how much we farm, right? And it's just one of those things that if you know how many acres somebody farms, you can have a pretty good idea how much money they make and a lot of information you can gain from that, or at least think you can gain from that, I guess. So it's just a privacy thing, I guess. I don't know. Comments on inflation cost. Is inflation impacting 23 plans? Well, the inflation hit us hard a year ago with fertilizer, and the seed is the big increase this year that hasn't been in the past. And you can call it inflation, you can call it increased production cost, energy cost, whatever. I mean, inflation is obviously a part of that. The big one now is the machinery side of stuff and equipment. It's just outrageous, just crazy how much stuff costs now compared to what it did even a year ago. I mean, that 8RX that we bought would cost us almost $100,000 more now than it did a year ago. It's just outrageous, which makes you feel good about some of the purchases you have made, and makes you almost sick about some of the purchases that you need to make. So, yeah, that's been the big one. But as far as direct inputs, seed, chemicals, fertilizer, everything's up a little bit, but the price of grain is still high, and we had really good crops this year. So, I mean, we're going to be okay. The interest rates rising is starting to hurt. My water. Operating loan are over 8% interest rates now. Fortunately, we don't have a whole lot of operating money borrowed, or any at this point. But yeah, if you got to borrow money, that's going to be a problem moving forward. So nothing to do with farming. Your favorite movie of all time? Movie. I don't watch a ton of movies. I am a fan of the Fast franchise, Fast and Furious movies. I like those. Um, I don't know. Shooter, yeah, Shooter was a good movie. I like liberal hippie movies, or that have a totally liberal agenda, but they're still good movies. Shooter's a good one. Day After Tomorrow is a good one. I didn't realize it at the time how liberal they were, but yeah. Anyway, we'll get off that subject. How's the week coming along? It's the middle of winter. It's not doing anything. It's dormant, but it looks good. We're in good shape. Hello, in Illinois. Are you in your house? I am in fact in our house. How's your input cost looking for the coming year? Yeah, well, I mean, we just talked about that a little bit. Seed, chemicals, fertilizer, all of it's up. Land costs are up, all of it. So, live stream the ride. Yeah, it's hard to do a live stream when I'm by myself. I assume you mean driving tomorrow on the road trip. I can do a live stream when I'm driving if I have somebody to read the questions for me. I can't do it if I'm by myself. It's not safe. Around February 2nd, 3rd, another bitter front coming through. Yes, she says. My wife's over there. She's hiding in the corner over there. And February 2nd is her birthday, so she's excited for some snow. Did you get the fuel pump house hooked up? No, haven't got it hooked up yet. We got it all out there. We got to get a hose to go from the pump to the hose reel, and get the nozzle installed, and then that'll be ready to go. Did lots of odd jobs on the farm. Yep, we have done a fair bit of odd job kind of stuff. So when it comes to the acreage question, the answer is either enough or not enough. Yeah, I suppose. When you go to Fort Wayne, take your boys to the famous Coney Island downtown, established in 1914. Best dogs you'll ever have. Yeah, we kind of have a little tradition after the farm show going out for a good steak. So when we go to Fort Wayne, it tends to be Logan's Roadhouse there off of, is that Coldwater Road?
Is that in Louisville?
We gonna do that in Louisville? Maybe on the way home. West Jefferson, Ohio is east of Lungden, Ohio. Oh, okay. That's not the same West Jefferson, honey. There is a West Jefferson that's like 10 or 15 miles from here, but it's just like 10 houses, not even 10 houses in a church. Is there any chance we can hear your dad's farming history? It's exciting to hear old tales about being a farmer myself, also different from Denmark. Yeah, so we'll probably remake this video someday, but go back and watch video number 500 from like a little over a year ago. It was in the fall harvest last year. For number 500, we did a little farm history video where we talked about a lot of that history stuff, so you'll enjoy that one. When you're actually planning on insulating the back of the shop, I don't know. I hope it happens, but I don't know when it's going to happen. So, yeah. What is the difference in anhydrous this year versus last year? Yeah, last year we were a little over $1,500 a ton for anhydrous. This year, right now, I've heard it's like 1,200, 1,225, something like that. We have not locked it in yet. We've not bought it, paid for it. Nitrogen prices have softened recently. I know 28 has come down in the last week, so we're kind of holding off on that one. So the answer is it's a little bit cheaper. Hopefully it'll keep getting a little bit cheaper. I would love to be under 1,000 by the end of the year, or by the time we need it, I guess, in the spring. But I don't know if that's likely to happen or not. So, will you ever insulate your seed warehouse, and what size is that building? So the seed warehouse is 70 by 90. I would consider insulating it, but here's the thing: I need heat there for 3 weeks a year when I'm treating beans. That's it. And I don't know if it's worth spending 15 or 20 grand to insulate that building to heat it for 3 weeks. Like I can just use propane. Like all you're gonna do is burn a little extra gas. It isn't that hard to heat it. So yeah, I mean I would like to, especially at least the ceiling, put some bad insulation in the ceiling and some steel up and it would be good to go, but hard to justify spending that much money unless I was going to turn it into a shop where I'm actually working, and then it's not a seed warehouse. So I don't know. That that'll happen. I got lucky. Was able to lock in 3 years of chemicals 2 years ago. Trading 24. Yeah, nice. There you go. Good evening. Enjoy your videos. Great job. Thank you. I like that your farm. Phil's new semi came from our backyard. Farm a lot of ground in that area. Hope it is still clean. By your backyard, do you mean Defiance or do you mean Wisconsin? Because that truck came out of Wisconsin. But we bought it from a dealer in Defiance. If you're ever bored and need something to film, you could always email me. Come up and get those Alice combines out of the woods. Yeah. We haven't got them dug out yet. Might have missed it, but did you ever change cell service? Yes. In fact, we are live streaming on AT&T right now because there's a tower right outside that door, right over there. It's fantastic. So much better. Meeting you at Farm Science Review. It was amazing to talk to you. Okay. Now I know who you are. I remember. Yep. All the snow is Gaylord North, and the UP had 10 inches. Marquette. Fun when I got to go to use our 5-foot ditching bucket. 103 K back. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, we don't have much snow. We have not had much snow all winter. In fact, we probably have more snow on the ground now than we have all year, don't we? Probably. It's not very much. I don't know if the grass is all covered. I have the absolute best informative farming channel on YouTube. Grew up a grandson of a farmer who was never going to get control of the farm. You helped fill a void. Thank you very much. You're welcome, and thank you. Question for Maddie. Excited for the trip Nathan won?
Yes.
Yeah? Yep, I think she's coming with me to Orlando. Yield goal for the beans this year, 95 bushel. Well, I mean, we did 86 this year, and I tried, but I didn't try that hard. It just rained. I have a very hard time believing that we are going to have good enough weather to raise 95 bushel beans. Would that be awesome? Yeah, that would be fantastic. But man, that seems like such a crazy high number. So the yield goal is as high as we can go, both corn and beans. I've got 3 different spots where we're going to push the crap out of some corn and see if we can do 300 bushel dry land. I don't think we can do it, but we're going to try. Beans, I mean, I would love to hit 100. Again, I don't think we can do it, but we're going to try. Have you ever tried strip till? No, I have not tried strip till. I would really like to try strip till, but we have not done it. So it's in my wish list of things to do. Do you think all the winter precip this year will help if we get a drought this summer? Kinda. We're not like out west where the subsoil moisture is super critical. I mean, we always have plenty of moisture going into spring. It's never dry in the spring. The trick is trying to get it to dry out. That's why we tile our fields. And so I don't think it's really any different than any other year. Did you pick up any more farmland this winter? Nope. I aren't farming anything more or anything less than we did a year ago. It's all the same. Did you finish your garage? I have drywall up in the garage. I'm still working on finishing that drywall. I hate drywall. And if anybody wants to come and finish my drywall or knows somebody, I might take you up on that, but it's not a fun project. When I put drywall or dry mud and tape and stuff, I'm pretty sure I get more drywall on me and the floor than the wall. More plaster. Yeah, it's not pretty. Yeah, no, we're not straight pipe Kenworth people. What day are you going to the show in Orlando? Well, I don't have a schedule yet. I just know that I am there. And I've been told that it's like the 9th through the 11th, which is a Thursday through Saturday. So we might come down Wednesday, come back Saturday is kind of the tentative plan. I'm not sure at the moment. Does the LP tank on your farm have a pump to fill the LP tank you're working on? No, we don't have a pump. Fortunately, with LP, you don't need a pump. It's a little slower without, but you don't need a pump. You're going to purchase a fuel trailer in the future? Probably not. I would love one. I think it would be super handy. And by future, if you mean the next couple of years, probably not. Eventually, maybe. But I've thrown that idea out there and gotten pretty shut down on that because we don't need it. Okay. Is Brian close enough to be his seed salesman? No, he's not. He's 4 hours away. 3.5, 4 hours. He's south of Columbus, so it would not work out real well. I just found out they're possibly going to put a distillery down the road for me. If they do it, I wonder if it will affect local grain prices. It's a large enough distillery. Unlikely, but potentially. But they don't use that much grain. I mean, think about how much an ethanol plant makes and uses in a year, and that can affect it. But a distillery is pretty small usage. So, how is the new to you tank project coming along? Can't wait to see the final product. Are you burying it or sitting it on a platform? Neither. It's coming along just fine. It is going to be mobile. That is the whole point. It is for transferring, not storing. And it's coming along okay. I'm waiting on parts and valves. How much does farmland sell for in your area? Well, I haven't seen anything sell in the last 3 months. Real close. You get 10 or 15 miles south and east of us, and it's 10 to 12,000 all day, maybe closer to 15 in some spots. I was second bidder on a farm this fall that went for just over 8, and I thought that was too much. So if we could find something at 6 right now, we'd probably buy it. Why do you side dress with NH3 instead of liquid 32? Well, 132 doesn't exist around here. That's a southern product. We use 28, and generally, usually, anhydrous is cheaper than liquid. And I know this isn't going to sound sane to most of you, but for me, it's easier to handle than liquid. And that's a volume thing, right? Anhydrous is 82% nitrogen. Liquid is 28%. So the number of gallons and tons that you have to handle of liquid is far, far higher than what we have to deal with of anhydrous. And I get the handling challenges of a pressurized gas and the inhalation hazard and all of that, and it's dangerous, yes, but it's effective, it's efficient, it's cheap, and it works. And I can cover ground with it. So that's why. What's the difference between your electric bill versus your parents' kilowatt costs? I was thinking you said it was a different company. It is a different company because they're Michigan and I'm Ohio. So they're Consumers Energy out of Michigan. I am Toledo Edison, First Energy out of Toledo or out of Ohio. And so I couldn't tell you what the cost difference is on a per kilowatt hour or whatever. I don't know. I don't think ours is too unreasonable. But yeah. Your dad can make a fuel trailer. Just bet him he can't, and he'll be done. This is true. I kind of, when we went to the farm show and saw that one, I'm like, you're thinking about it, aren't you? You could build one. Doesn't have to be fancy, but man, a 500-gallon fuel trailer with a nice hose reel and a pump on it would be so nice for what we're trying to do. Oh, that would be awesome. Do you have a toy collection in your house? Well, I don't really have a toy collection. My child does, but they're in his room and he's sleeping, so we can't go see it. Got one of those ancient fuel oil furnace tanks that's 200 gallons in the basement on my list of projects to make it into a fuel trailer. There you go. Raised 300 bushel corn last year. It was good. Nice job. Working on the anhydrous transfer tank. Yeah, waiting for parts. Oh, I know fall anhydrous, right? So out west, Illinois, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, maybe, I don't know. Those guys will put anhydrous on in the fall, put their nitrogen on. We do not do that here, and the reason is it rains. We are far too wet, especially in the spring, for fall anhydrous to be effective, because anhydrous or nitrogen, well, you're using anhydrous for the nitrogen component. It is a mobile nutrient that moves with water, and so when it gets cold, it kind of the microbes that convert that anhydrous into a leachable form of nitrogen, nitrites. I don't know the exact terminology, but anyway, the microbes in the soil convert that. You put the anhydrous on, it's NH3. It binds with water, instantly becomes NH4 and ammonium, and then over time it converts into nitrites, which are a leachable form that can move with the water. But that conversion, the microbes don't really work on it when it's cold. So they start putting it on when it's below 50 degrees, and then that doesn't happen real fast. They don't warm up enough until the spring, until it's later and it's dry, and they don't have to worry about it leaching. We get way too much rain in the spring in the east here to do that effectively. We would lose that nitrogen because of all the water. It would just flush it right out. Some guys will do pre-plant anhydrous. They'll put it on in the spring before they plant. But we have gotten away from that the last 4 or 5 years here in favor of side dress, because I can do it so quick. That anhydrous bar that we've got and stuff, I can cover the ground so fast that I don't need to do pre-plant. I don't need to do fall anhydrous. I would rather put it on as close to when the plant is going to use it as possible. 300 corn needs the following: uniform emergence, nitrogen, trace minerals, timely rains, seed population, in my opinion. Yeah, you're not wrong on any of those. Some more important than others. On our irrigated corn last year, we did 282 or 281, and I feel like we got the even emergence. I put the trace minerals out there. We definitely had the timely rains. I had plenty of seed population. We ran out of nitrogen, and I didn't protect it with enough fungicide. We got tar spot, so that doesn't help either. But we were close. We'll see what we can do this year. You need to give the millennial farmer some help trying to figure out his anhydrous setup. Yeah, he's got a lot going on there with that strip till bar, and trying to do the anhydrous on top of the dry and everything else. It complicates it. So I see why he's struggling with it, especially when you have equipment problems like he's had with his dry. That said, if he could get that pass to work, I think it would work really well for him. That's an efficient way to do things when you can do all of that at one shot. It's just so much stuff going on. So, isn't the border right in the middle of the farmyard? Well, it's on the south edge of the farm and north of where I am. Just joined. Did I miss any news? No big announcements tonight. Is NH3 typically cheaper in the fall? If so, how much? I don't know. I mean, we've never priced for fall pull. We've only priced for spring pull, and we don't have on-farm storage, so we don't have the ability to bring a load in the summer or off season to like a off-season fill price like we can with propane. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Usually, we'll look at locking it in for the spring about this time of year in January, because typically prices go up towards spring and when you're going to use it more. We can prepay for it, lock the price in now, and not pull it until spring, and they'll let us do that and save a little bit of money. This year, nitrogen price is dropping, and so I don't know that that's the best play right now, but I don't know. We'll see. Any upgrades to the planter this year? Yeah, probably. We're looking into some stuff. Let's just say that. So I don't know that we're going to do much to the bean planter. That one is not as critical. There's so much stuff that I would like to do to a corn planter with. I would like to go to exact emerge. That's not going to happen to this planter. Would love to put hydraulic downforce on. Also not going to happen to this planter. I've been looking at in-furrow fertilizer stuff a little bit, adding a second fertilizer system. I would love to go to row cleaners instead of no-tip holders. There's just so much stuff that it's where do you start? How do you pick one kind of thing. DirecTV, Dropbox, what's the score? Well, it's halftime. I paused it because I was tired of it flashing in the background. Let me see if I can find it. Nope. Oh, I'm way behind. Am I that far behind? I might be way behind. It's not halftime anymore. I'll tell you in a second. It's commercial. Haggy Y drops versus NH3. Again, you're handling liquid versus anhydrous. The issue with a Y drop is you're putting it on the surface, and putting nitrogen on the surface is a bad idea because of volatilization risk. It's so much better to get it in the ground. And I understand the theory with the dew and everything running down the plants and washing it in and being enough, but you run a lot of risk putting nitrogen on the soil surface. And so while I would kind of like to try that, my dad is totally against it. So anyway, just got a new Brent 1398 ready to use this summer. Cool. That's an awesome grain cart. What are you changing on your corn starter program? Yeah, so like I said, I'm looking at adding some in-furrow stuff. I would love to be able to put more nitrogen on with the planter, so that's something that I'm looking at doing. And that you have to use liquid, so it would be 28 with some ATS, which I have been doing ATS with 1034O. But if I could split that and go with my 2x2, with more nitrogen, sulfur, and a little bit of phosphorus, and then go with an in-furrow and use either some 1034O or a ortho, instead of a polyphosphate and orthophosphate fertilizer that's a little more seed safe, lower salt content. I've been thinking about trying some sugar and humic acid in furrow, that kind of stuff. So I'm going through all that stuff right now, trying to figure it out. So not one troll in here. 8RX needs tires. Awful. Yeah. It is 19-12, San Francisco. Minute 53 left in the fourth. We went from halftime to fourth quarter real fast. Apparently I paused it at some point and was way behind. I don't know. Anyway, we run fall NH3, run half rate, always come back in the spring side dress for our corn milo. Fall NH3 has always been our best every year. When we have had spring NH3 to compare, this year we have something. Yeah. I'm going to guess, especially with the milo, that you're west, like Kansas, Nebraska area. So I'm not surprised by that, but it's just different here. How's Phil liking the def on the new truck? Well, he came to me the other day and he's like, "Are you sure it's working?" Because it wasn't going down very fast. He's filled up fuel like 3 or 4 times and he's only filled up the def tank once. So I don't think he cares one bit. It's not hurting anything. He talked about removing the weights on the 8RX. Have you thought of putting a rock box on the front? I have not thought about a rock box. Nope. You gonna purchase a Haggy for this year? Probably not. Haggies are one of those things that is outrageously expensive compared to what it cost a couple of years ago. So, 12 acres to do. Fall 22 was $90 cheaper than spring. The fall before it was $750 versus $1,400 in season prepay for fall 21. Yeah, that's the risk you run, right? The price can go up, especially between fall and spring. I mean, it happens, but I think this year it's going to be the opposite, where it was higher price in the fall and it's going to be cheaper in the spring. So it goes both ways. 40 seconds left in the game. Are you that much farther ahead of me, or am I still behind? I'm still behind. How did that happen? Yeah, it just keeps backing up. YouTube TV screwing up. Whatever. Combine make it home yet? Nope, it has not. We should call them. Are you considering purchasing LibreCart? I am considering LibreCart. Absolutely. Hasn't happened yet, but they're one of the companies that I am seeking out in Louisville when we're down there. We went from fall end to using strip refresher that applies 20 gallons of 32 right ahead of the planter. It's a huge difference in plant vigor if you forget to turn it on. Yeah, that'll do it. That will, in fact, do it. And I don't think that's a bad way. I don't know that spring strip till would work for us because of how wet we are, but I certainly see what you're trying to do. And yeah. Would you do any big additions to the house? To my house that I just built less than a year ago? No, I would not. Our house is really nice. Yeah. I'm looking at it now. It looks like there's 5 seconds left. With they're doing a booth review. Must be on a catch. Dallas is trying to score to tie the game. It's probably over by now, but whatever. Any word on a Dr. Pepper sponsorship? No. 44th flavor. No, there's only 23 flavors in Dr. Pepper, not 43. Would Y drops work well with irrigation? Y drops don't have a fit with irrigation, in my opinion, because if you're irrigating, you can just put the water in the irrigation water. There's no reason to Y drop it. Just put the nitrogen, the 28 in with the water. Irrigate it right in. Thanks for the stream. Time for bed for us working folks. Early start to the day. Yeah, we're getting there. Guy here in Blissfield that has the toolbar for the front of his Haggy with side dress with. Oh, nice. Yeah, there's a few of those around. The nitrogen toolbars. I don't know if that's better than why drop it or not, because you get it in the dirt, but it's in the middle of the row instead of right on the row. Give and take both ways. I'll tell you this, the semis are straight piped are the good Jake brakes. Yeah. East Central Illinois, we're just north of I-70 near the Indiana line. Not much dark black ground. Oh, okay. So you're not that far west then. All right. But you're south. And you're doing fall anhydrous. That surprises me a little bit. As warm as you are. Is there a point of diminishing returns when it comes to depth NH3? I know it gases off when it's not deep enough. Kinda. I mean, you put it in the ground as deep as you need to get it to seal. Our bar is a little bit different in that it's not a shank, so it seals different. I don't put it as deep. I'm only going 4 or 5 inches deep versus 6 to 8 that we used to do with the shank anhydrous bar. But because of what I was talking about earlier, where nitrogen moves with water, generally you don't want to put it deep. You want to put it up towards the surface, but not on the surface. If I could place my nitrogen 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep, that would be perfect. But you can't do that with anhydrous. It's got to be in moisture. Is Phil your dad's brother? Yes, he is my uncle. As of January, prepay fall NH3 still $120 a ton cheaper than spring paid for NH3. Spring 22 paid $1,100 for spring 23 is $1,220. Yes, on Libra Cart 1. We'll throw out it. Okay. I'm still not going to do fall anhydrous, so. Is it the farmer with the cabbages? Did the dealer figure out why your combine engine was consuming small amounts of oil? I haven't asked them yet, so it's been up there, but I have not talked to them to find out what they did, what they found out, or get any kind of report on it. So something I need to do this week, probably. Get up there and talk to them. Seems there's a lot of hype behind Haggies. What's your opinion on them compared to an R-Series deer sprayer? Yeah, well, the hype behind the Haggie is because it's high clearance. I can spray tasseled corn with it. I can't do that with an R-Series deer. So with the tar spot and the fungicide issues that we're seeing with corn, it's kind of a no-brainer. When you got to update sprayers, you buy a Haggie, or there's other options, but Haggie is the big one. Game's over. San Francisco won. South of Route 16, when they say it's too far south to do it. Been doing it for years. I was doing it way back in the 90s. Do you put on nitrogen with the planter? If so, how much? Yes. So I do have some nitrogen in the starter. Last year it was only 18, 20, maybe 22 pounds. So not a lot. That is something that I'm looking to up this year. I think we should be closer to 40 or 50 pounds of nitrogen with the planter, which is a lot. And that's going to be hard to get. But I need more than 20, I think. New to airbag downforce. Can you give some advice coming from Springs? Is it active automated airbag down pressure, or set point where you have to adjust the pressure as you go. 43. What time is it? Yeah. Keep it up with videos, information, in-depth details about all the inner workings of farm, or what most all other YouTube channels are missing. Thank you. Yeah. The deer wheel with the lift kit. Yes, but you can only put the lift kit on the smaller ones, I believe. Maybe you can get them with 120-foot booms and 1,200-gallon tanks now. You didn't used to be able to. It used to be the 30 series like we have. The 4830 was the biggest one you could get with a lift kit. And either way, the rear boom on a deer sprayer and a Hagee is just makes more sense. So. Matt Griggs uses it to spray. Yeah, I've seen it happen. I've seen guys do it. I got a neighbor that did some last year. He sprayed it a little bit early, just pre-tassel. But it's Phil, a part owner of the farm. Oh yeah, very much so. Adam, set point or active downforce on those airbags, and I can tell you a little bit more. I'm caught up in the chat here, so. Active air downforce. Okay, so that's what I have on my planner. I think you'll like it. It's better than springs by far, because one, it's more consistent. See, the problem with the spring is the more you stretch it, the more it pulls back. So your down pressure was quite variable depending on how far that spring was pressed or was stretched. With an airbag, it's consistent through that whole range of motion. You have the same amount of down pressure on it. And they're going to be consistent across all the rows because the spring, the air is all in one system, and so as one airbag compresses, the other side will, or the other airbags will also compress. But anyway, you're going to set it based on margin. I assume this is a deer system. That's what I'm familiar with. If it's precision or something, it's going to be a little bit different, but you're going to set a margin, and it's a little bit tricky to understand, but the margin is basically the excess weight on the row unit. So it's going to take so much down pressure to force that openers and everything into the ground, right? And the faster you drive, the more it takes. Think of it like a boat going through water. The faster you go, the higher that boat wants to ride up because it's planing out on the water. Well, your seat openers are basically doing the same thing in the dirt. So the faster you drive, the more down pressure you need. But what you really are measuring is the excess pressure. And there's going to be some sensors on your gauge wheels, probably on 2 or 3 or however many there are. My planner has 3, one on each wing, one on a main frame. And it will average that reading in order to adjust how much air pressure is in those airbags to try and maintain 50 pounds. That's where I set it. If you're in rough ground or no-till ground, you might want to set a little bit higher. I wouldn't go over 100. But that means that there's 100 pounds pressing down on your gauge wheels, or 50 pounds pressing down on your gauge wheels. It doesn't mean there's only 50 pounds of down pressure. It means there's 50 pounds more than what it's taking to push it into the ground. And that's what you want to do. You want to maintain pressure on your gauge wheels so that it stays in the ground, so that your row units aren't floating, because then you're losing depth control if you start floating. So once you set that, it's pretty much it. You don't mess with it. I don't mess with it ever. It's pretty much just reacts and does its thing. And sometimes it's going to run really light down pressure, like you may only have 100 pounds of down pressure in your airbags, or and sometimes it may go up to 400, especially in hard ground. But it'll do it automatically to try and maintain your margin. Make sense? I think Larson's issues with their John Deere tracks is too much cleaning, too fast road speed. Could be too much cleaning. Yeah, I mean they're more to clean out. I can't imagine that tracks on a red tractor are that much easier to clean out than on a green tractor, but whatever, maybe. And the road speed issue is an issue with tracks too. I mean, it is. But the benefits outweigh the fact that I have to go slow. So when we were at Fort Wayne at that farm show, they had that 8RX with the tractor tanks on it, the exact rate tanks, and there was a sticker on the door that said that tractor is programmed from the factory to only go 19 miles an hour. Like they have they speed limited it from the factory because of those tanks. So it's a weight issue. Need to find you a tow behind compressor like the neighbors, pre-clean equipment daily too during harvest. Yeah, we've talked about that and looked into it, but those compressors are expensive. They're really expensive. So it's kind of like that man lift thing, you know? It's one of those things that we've wanted for a long time and just never pulled the trigger on it. And then I'm like, all right, well, let's just go buy one. And someday we'll end up with one of those air compressors. But we would use it about 4 days a year is the problem. And it's hard to justify. So, hey Nathan, how you doing? Still enjoy your videos. I'm doing well. Thanks, Kirk. Appreciate it. What brand will your next sprayer upgrade be? Likely a Haggy. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it just doesn't make sense to buy much other than a Haggy right now. Did you see the R Series Gator at the farm show? I saw one at the local dealer. They seemed insanely nice, but not for $35,000. Yeah, that's the problem. New Gators, the nice ones, they're 35, 40 grand. It's outrageous. It's just outrageous. Sorry I missed you tonight, but I had to watch the Cowgirls lose. Yeah. Are you part owner in the farmers worker? Nope, I'm a part owner as well. If it's your first time with an air compressor on your planter, route the air intake to the cab so don't eat too much dirt and kill the compressor. Yeah, so about that, on the planter we had before the one we have now, we had set point downforce, and the air compressor was in the cab. And on our bean planter, it's got a little electric compressor. It's on the tongue right behind the tractor. That one, when we got it, the air filter was right on the compressor, right behind the tractor. And it killed that compressor within a year or two. And it was under warranty, or there was a PIP or something, I don't know. But they put a new compressor on and they relocated the air filter to inside the cab to draw fresh air from there. And that's never been a problem since. On the corn planter, however, it's a hydraulic driven compressor that's mounted behind the seed tanks, and the air filter is right on top of it. It's a much bigger air filter, and I have never had any trouble with that. And I've never moved the air intake because it's clear in the back. It would take a lot to move it. So you're right in some circumstances, but I have not had any trouble with it. So. Yeah, so I am part owner along with my dad and actually two of my uncles, Phil and another uncle. I should have done a meet and greet at Fort Wayne Farm Show in the Green Mark booth. Well, all of the has to happen is for a company to say, hey, we'll pay for you to come to a farm show if you will come to our booth and do a meet and greet. I would do it, but they don't ask, so I don't. Golden Harvest, I'm looking at you. Looking at you, Golden Harvest. How many gallons of 28 do you put on your wheat? So we do 2 shots of nitrogen on our wheat. The first shot kind of at green up or right after green up, and we'll put 25 gallons on then. 25 gallons of 28 plus 3 gallons of ATS, and then we'll come back in a month or 2 later with another, I want to say 7 gallons. We're putting 32, maybe up to 35 in some good spots, kind of thing, somewhere in that ballpark. If Mom is still watching, we're waiting for another cooking video. There you go, Mom. Ever thought of buying a skid loader? Not really. I mean, we had a skid loader when I was a kid because we had pigs and cleaning out the barn and stuff, and then the engine blew on it, and it was really old. Like, it was old enough it didn't have a roll cage, an old Bobcat. But we've never had one since, and I know they're super handy, but for the non-livestock farms, it seems like they either have a skid loader or a backhoe, and we have a backhoe. So we've never had or needed a skid loader. I'm sure it would be handy, but I don't know that it would do anything that we can't do without other stuff. So still love that Sweet 8RX. I do too. It's a pretty nice tractor. Do you like Michigan or Ohio more? Well, that depends on what we were talking about, right? Like, I'm from Michigan. Like, I consider that home in Michigan. But I hate that school in Ann Arbor. I'm much more of an Ohio State fan. So there's that. Just sidestep the sprayer and buy a plane. There you go. I do have a brother-in-law who's a pilot. He could fly for me. When will we see the new John Deere planter? What new planter? You just bought a new Case IH planter, all precision on it. Can't wait to see the difference. Keep up with your great job with your channel. Keep up with it. Thank you. If you had an 8330 with 1500 hours, would you put a 4640 monitor in it to plant, or would you upgrade to a new tractor altogether? I mean, an 8330 with 1500 hours is pretty low hourd. That's a good planting tractor if it has the hydraulic capacity to run whatever you're trying to pull and power and everything. I would think pretty hard about a 4640, although the newer tractors are nicer. Not gonna lie, they are nicer, but they're expensive, right? I mean, it just depends on what you do. Do you need more power? Do you need a newer tractor for something? 1500 hours, you're good. It's not wore out. That's a tough call. What is it that makes you motivated to keep making videos other than the big sponsorships that are going to come eventually? The sponsorships are not a motivating factor. I mean, I do make decent money on these videos from YouTube. That helps, but I enjoy making them. I enjoy sharing what we do and talking about it and trying to help educate, I guess. Share, we're not some big evil corporate farm that's trying to destroy the world. Those don't exist. They're all family farms. I'm one of them. Going to bed?
Maybe.
I'm surprised you're still awake. It's probably because I'm talking. She can't sleep. It's been a while since I bought any equipment. Do they still come with a free hat? Depends on what you buy. I don't know. I didn't get any hats. I don't wear hats, so they know better than to give me hats, right? But when we bought that 8RX, it did come with that toy model that's in our office. That's like $175 model, 16th scale tractor. So that was cool. I will give them that. That was really cool. Dad and Grandpa said the 4440 is a great tractor to keep around. Yep, 4440 is a good tractor. I will mention the meet and greet with the owners of Greenmark, my uncles, for a farm show. Okay, there you go. Greenmark doesn't have much of a booth at Fort Wayne, so they don't have a big draw because they don't have any equipment there. We got a skid steer and a backhoe. We put in tile for. Well, see, that's totally different because you're doing tile work. You've probably got excavators too. Has the youngest been with you in the tractor? She rode in the combine, I think, combine, grain cart, something briefly this fall. Not much. Probably more this year. You going to reblade your disc or trade for something different? Well, we're not going to trade anytime soon on that. So we'll probably reblade it. The question is, do we do it before or after spring, kind of? I think the blades that are on it will be fine for the spring, but we may look at doing something before next fall. I enjoy your videos. Thank you. Any desire to have a JBC like Brian? I mean, it's cool. They have a lot of heavy construction equipment that most farms don't. And we have other needs that are more pressing. Let's just put it that way, right? Like, I would love to buy my dad an excavator. I think he would get a ton of use out of it. But that's a hard thing to pull a trigger on. We don't have any way to transport it. That's part of the problem. Is we have no way to move something like that or a dozer. So it just adds to the expense of if you're going to do it, then you got to buy a trailer. And yeah, if you were a true farm YouTuber, you would have a blooper reel video. Just saying. But I don't have bloopers because everything makes it. Like I don't. You guys realize the percentage of stuff that gets cut from my actual everyday videos is minuscule. And it's mostly when I forget to stop recording and I stick the phone in my pocket and you get a black picture of my butt for 20 minutes. Like that's it. I don't cut actual stuff ever. Any plans on repainting the 4440? Not anytime soon. It's something that may happen. It's probably already had a coat of paint or two at some point that, with a brush. Not by me. It may happen eventually, but I did the 4020 10 years ago, and it still looks really good, but it drives me crazy when we get scratches and stuff on it because we still use it. It's a work tractor. And so my restoration project at the moment is the F12, which will be a show tractor and won't get scratched because it won't be used. So yeah. It's water. It's just water tonight. It's Sunday night. Let's see. First you get a trailer, then you buy stuff so you can justify the trailer. Is that how it works? We could do it that way. I was looking for a new grain dryer. Was thinking mixed flow, but had a few around a Scott Fire. Guess we'll stay with a portable dryer. Yeah, I really like our mixed flow dryer, but I mean ours caught on fire too, so I guess I shouldn't talk too much. I guess it can be an issue, but it wasn't a horrible problem for us. So I don't know. That mother's back to black stuff works nice. Used on 8120. Made the fenders intact with brand new. Yeah, that stuff is awesome, isn't it? I really like that stuff. Really like the tread design on the F12. Yeah, it's pretty unique. I mean, those tires are old. I don't know if they're original, but they're old. And I would love to be able to find replacements with that tread pattern on them. But I've looked a little and I haven't found it. So won't be used until you need it. I don't know what we're talking about, but you're right. Oh, the F12. Yeah. The thing about that F12 is it doesn't have enough power to do anything. Like it doesn't have as much power as our lawnmower. I just don't know what you could use it for. I mean, it could pull the auger around the yard, but I don't think it could run the auger. So I don't know how it could be used. How soon do you replace the 9R? I don't know. Dad and I were throwing this idea out the other day about, that tractor and what we do with it and stuff, but it's other than the 8RX, it's the lowest hour tractor we have. It's just a little over 3,000 hours, 3,500 maybe, something, I don't know. Which is not a lot of hours. It's not new by any means, but it's not a lot. We don't need a bigger tractor. We don't need more power. So there's no reason to upgrade there like there was the last time. When we bought that, we traded our 9300 in and we needed the power. So there's no imminent need, but eventually there will be. It would be kind of nice, but the replacements are so expensive. It's just I don't know. I don't know. Tracks would be nice. That's the last place I think you need tracks. Another row crop for planting soybeans with and stuff would be a better purchase in my mind than a 9RX or a 9RT even. I just, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. Don't have any harvest lines on my local elevator. Would you haul in off the combine or build grain bins? I mean, I would still build grain bins unless your corn is all coming out dry. The amount that you can gain by being able to market your crop throughout the entire year rather than all in the fall is worth it. Grain bins pay, especially when you're talking about wet corn and drying it yourself. Like I can dry our corn for less than half of what the elevators charge to dry corn. So yeah, it's a no-brainer for us. You build grain bins. You just do it. No lines in the fall is helpful, but what happens when they close at 5 o'clock? And that's only part of the story. So half John Deere, half Steiger Green. When is the old tractor going to start up? Oh man, I don't know. We're a year and a half into this project. I might get the head taken somewhere this week. That's kind of my goal. Like, let's get that taken in. Oh, it's not pretty. Maybe a year from now. My idea is to work through the engine before we dig into the rear end and the transmission and everything else and see how much water's in that. This tractor. It's going to be a long process. Paint might happen in 10 years. I don't know. It's not good. What about investing in a rear PTO kit for the 9510? Why? I don't need that. I have 2 other tractors that I can pull our grain cart with just fine. I have no need to run a grain cart with the 9R. That's a tillage tractor. The only scenario where I can see that happening is if we heavily invested into strip till and we were using the 8RX on a strip till bar, and then we needed to put something else on the grain cart and we wanted to use the 9R. I could see that happening, but highly unlikely. How far in advance do you plan on replacing equipment? I don't farm, so I don't quite grasp planning out those giant purchases. I mean, there's a wish list, right? Like I have all right, this needs to be done. What's going to be next kind of thing. Like I have this wish list in the back of my mind, but sometimes things just happen. And it's like, didn't see that one coming. I'm trying to give an example. I mean, like our backhoe last year, right? That's a little bit smaller purchase, but we weren't looking for a backhoe. Backhoe was not on the list of things to upgrade. Our backhoe was fine. It was getting hours on it. It was getting a little worn out. But Dad just kind of one day was looking and saw a backhoe and was like, well, let's go buy this one. So we looked and we didn't end up with that one, but then we were looking for a backhoe. So we went and found something else, and it just happened. So it's hard to say, but like combines were on a pretty tight rotation schedule, right? We buy a new combine about every 7 to 8 years, and it's because they wear out, and you just kind of have to replace them because the reliability starts going downhill. And on our farm where we run one machine and we need it to work, we can't afford downtime. So that's kind of been our rotation in our schedule, and that's worked out well for us. But other things, like tractors, we don't trade them regularly, and we tend to keep them for a very long time and just kind of kick them down the line. The 8300 that we got rid of when we bought an 8RX we'd had it for almost 25 years. So it's sort of hard to explain. Dad's always said that, there are certain things you buy new and certain things that are okay used. Tractors are okay to buy a used one. Corn planters you should buy new. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. Combines, we tend to buy new combines because, again, that's just the wear and the hours and the work that the machine does. They wear out, and you have to have something reliable. But when it comes to tillage equipment or some of that stuff, it's hard to say. We don't make a big plan. It's kind of what's the biggest need at the time, and what's the economic situation, right? Back in 2019, when we barely planted a crop, everything was on hold. Like, yeah, we have a wish list of it would be really nice to do this or this, but we don't have the money. We're doing it. The last 2 years, farming's been pretty good. We've had really good crops, especially in 22 here, and the prices have been good. And that has allowed us to upgrade some stuff and do some things that has been really nice. But we spent a lot of money doing that in the last couple of years too, and now the prices have gone way up, and at some point the economics change. Like sprayers that cost $600,000. That's just outrageous. Did you ever find out why the front windshield on the 8430 broke? We're pretty sure it was a rock from a passing car hitting it, but no real way to prove that. Are you enjoying the new house on your farm and being so close to work? Yes, very much so. The house is great. It's really nice. It is nice being close to the farm. I cannot tell you how many times in the last 2 months I have been sitting right here on my couch editing a YouTube video and realized that I left my GoPro at the farm and I can just go get it. And it's not a 5-mile drive. So you guys actually get the footage because I can go get it. Otherwise, I'd be like, I'm not driving 6 miles to go get the camera. Not happening. Any reasonable way to clean off the bees wings before they get into the dryer bins, given the scale of your truck hauling? Before they go into the dryer, definitely not, because they don't come off of wet corn very good. The bees wings, red dog we call it, generally comes off as the corn dries. You get it worse, And so the best way to actually clean the grain would be a screen from the dryer to the leg. The way our setup is, that wouldn't work real well. That said, they don't really cause that much trouble in the bins. It's the pieces of cob and stalk and stuff, especially in the dryer, that can cause issues, not so much the bees wings. So not something we worry about other than it makes a mess on the ground. My sons and I are aspiring farmers, been in other forms of family business forever. Brothers, uncles, etc. Really appreciate that for you guys to put these videos. Thank you. Appreciate it. And good luck. If it's an 8-year rotation, maybe a low hour X9 will be available then. Yeah, I mean, it would be, but I don't need that big of a combine. No need whatsoever. Spring hay is a cover crop. Nope, not doing that. See you in Louisville. Okay. Have you ever broadcast spread beans in the ground you couldn't get onto with a planter? No, we have not. Thoughts on EV tractors? I'm not going to be as against them as a lot of people would expect. I just don't know the practicality of it, especially on big, row crop tractors that are doing a lot of work. I mean, the size of the batteries would be outrageous right now, and the ability to charge it would be a problem, right? So, for a utility tractor, a chore tractor, something around a dairy farm or something like that, I could see the fit. Something that you're trying to take it to a field for 12 hours a day or 15 hours a day. We're not there. We're just not there. Now, that said, I would buy an electric truck in a heartbeat. I think my dad would buy an electric truck in a heartbeat because 99% of what we do with a pickup, we could do with an electric vehicle. Would be no problem whatsoever. And you keep a 3/4 ton truck around for pulling a beanhead or anhydrous tanks, and you got what you need. Like, to replace my Ram, an electric truck would be just fine. I would have no reason not to do that. Can you use row sense to steer the combine on unmatched RTK planted corn? Planting 16, picking 12. You can, yes. However, if you're on that guess row, it's in the middle, your row sense is going to follow one side. So your other side, depending on how far off you're going to be off. But yeah, it'll work. I think I see candles in the background. You have a frequent power loss at your house. Those candles, the ones that have never been burnt, those are decorative. Those are decorative. There's probably a candle right over there on the counter, way in the background too. That's for smell. Let's make it smell pretty in here. I've never lost power in this house that I'm aware of. Since I built my seed warehouse in 2014 and first got electrical power here, I cannot remember a single time that we've been out of power. How much do you make off of YouTube? You think I'm going to answer that? We just got done talking about how people don't even like to tell how many acres they farm because you might be able to figure out how much they make. I make enough to make it worth my time. That's what I'm going to tell you. Notice the ripper was still sitting outside in a recent video. Do you not have room for it in the barn? We do not. That ripper is just enormous, and it's never had a spot in the barn. Same with the field cultivator, the disc, the packers. They sit outside because we do not have room inside for them. Much agreed. Thank you. I don't know what you agreed with, but good. How are the land prices up where you are? We're in Ontario, and some land is going for $40,000 an acre. Oh my gosh. It's still Canadian. That's still like 30 grand, isn't it? Ouch. You get 10, 15 miles from here and the land is 10 to 12, maybe 15,000. Right here, I passed on some that was 8,000 an acre this fall because I thought it was too much. Somewhere in that ballpark. In Ontario too, 50,000 an acre in Durham region. Good grief, you rich Canadians. Diesel over electric, like trains, will be the future of ag equipment, probably. I could see that. I don't know what the efficiency is there, what that gains you, having to do that conversion to electric from diesel. Basically running a diesel generator at that point. And I would assume that there's some efficiency loss in that energy conversion, but I can see where the control and stuff would be more precise. But Yeah, you're probably right there. You do hay rides in your area, big hit in northern Minnesota, but not just now. We don't, but some people do. Oh, EV tractors on the agreement. Yeah. Um, there are like ag tourism places that do corn mazes and hay rides and pumpkin patches and all that kind of stuff around here. So yeah. How come you never like any people comments? You ask to thumbs up and subscribe. We all do. Occasionally I do, once in a while, because it takes me too long. I'm busy. I'm working. I'm making videos. I just don't. I'm sorry. I should go through and like or heart all the comments, but it doesn't happen. I'm sorry. What inspired you to start filming? Yeah. Um, so I've been doing this for a little over 3 years now. Is that right? 3 years. 19, fall of 19, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, a little over 3 years. Um, it, I've always kind of had a passion for speaking and doing this kind of stuff. I mean, I was an FFA state officer. I started a Facebook page for our farm years and years ago, and I just loved sharing the pictures and what we were doing, and just trying to help share what happens on a family farm, small family farm or mid-sized family farm, whatever you want to call us. Um, and then the YouTube thing kind of came up, and I had kind of like I'd always kind of had that idea. I had a YouTube channel I started back in 2012 or something, and I had just kind of posted random clips of equipment or stuff like that, my big butt videos, but never this vlog style. And I kind of always had it in the back of my mind, but what it stopped me was I just like, how do you start? Where do you start? How do you do that? That's the hard part, right? It's just figuring out how to start doing it. And then I started watching Zach, and I found Brian, and eventually I'm just like, all right, if these guys can do it, I can do it. Like they aren't any different than I am. And so I just started one day. And it was not intended to be a daily thing when I started. It just kind of happened. It's just the way it's been. And I don't know how to stop. So here we are. 1,000 videos later. No, we're not to 1,000 yet. We're getting close to 900 though. Oh, it's crazy. So, I mean, I like the idea of helping to share what farmers do and educating people on why we do what we do and how we do what we do and what I do every day. I mean, there's so many stereotypes and misconceptions about what farmers do and how it works and everything. Um, I just got the 15% battery notification on my phone, so if I die, sorry. Um, Actually, we'll go sit over here so I can plug it in. But anyway, so I enjoy that, being able to share stuff a little bit, and this is a good way to do it to help educate. Why we use the equipment that we do, why we work the hours that we do, why we use chemical, why I use seed treatments, why we use GMOs, all that kind of stuff. Like it doesn't hurt to share it and talk about it. It hurts to hide things, and I'm trying to not hide things. So, and I know that there are plenty of ag YouTubers that do that much more now since I've started than when I started. Some a lot bigger than me, a lot smaller than me. But the more voices and the more people that you can have sharing your story, the better, right? I have a question. We're looking for a new loader tractor after our last one rolled over. Ouch. What are your thoughts on an IVT transmission on a loader? Would be different transmission work better? Thank you. Yeah, good question. So we have that 7520 that has an IVT in it. I like it, kind of. That tractor, the IVT, is not as smooth and nice as the 8R or the 8RX. Obviously, they're very different, but you can switch directions quickly. You can change speeds quickly, although getting the hang of the control is a little bit tricky. I would think it would be much better than a power quad or some kind of ranges that you got to shift through. A power shift I could see being as handy. I know people really like the left-hand reverser for loader work, so you can change directions while you're controlling the loader with your other hand. That said, I hate the left-hand reverser in that 75-20 for anything other than loader work. Like when we're mowing with it or trying to do anything with it in the field, I would much prefer the right-hand reverser style that's in the 8R. Personal preference thing. So I would strongly suggest you try and drive one. Try and just see. Although the IVTs, there's a learning curve. Like you're gonna hate it at first, probably. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a good tractor. I know people really like IVTs for loader work in general, but you got to put the hours in to get used to it. That would be my feedback. Not rich, just deep in debt. Yeah, that's it. That must be it. I don't know. They won't loan us that kind of money around here for a farm. You gotta have a lot of down payment to make that kind of thing work. 30,000 an acre. Trains have diesel generators on board to power electric motors. How much better is limited? Not the model for EV tractors. Yeah, right. So that's my thought too. Is you're running diesel to power electric. It's just a generator. Oh, thoughts on the new Big Bud? Yeah, right. So for those of you that don't know, the Big Bud company, I don't remember what the name is of the company, but they announced that they're going to start building Big Buds again, which is exciting. Not practical for us or around here, I don't think. It'll be interesting. We'll see. I've heard they're going to be pretty basic, low spec tractors that I don't know what their fit is, but we'll see once they announce more details. I think it's cool. I do think it is cool. Electric diesel, you could do away with belts and hydraulics. That is true. Can you start putting numbers on your videos again? No, I'm not going to number the videos again. I will every like 50 or something put a number on there so that you can know where we're at, but I don't miss the numbers. How much better supposed to be battery? Likely remain just electric pumped due to efficiency of hydraulic. Yeah, I mean you're not going to get away from the hydraulics on the implements and stuff. You're right there. Glad to know you don't know how to quit making videos. Yeah, that's exactly it. I don't know how to stop. Any reason for liking full conventional tillage more than VT strip no till? Well, first of all, it is not full conventional tillage. I've never run a moldboard plow in my life. I would not know how to plow if I had to. That said, yes, we do run a ripper, chisel plow, whatever you want to call it, on anything going to corn, and the reason is because it works. No-till corn has not worked for us in the past. It does not look pretty around here for the people that do it on occasion. When you see it, it is not common at all. There is a lot of no-till beans. We have no-tilled beans. We do no-till beans. I like running the VT over the corn stalks because it knocks them down and makes harvest a lot better. And I feel like it gives us a little bit better start on our beans and helps get that seed established better. But we don't do a lot of chiseling in corn stalks going to beans, just a field or two every year. The problem with doing that is that it takes them longer to dry out, so it's not a common practice. But yeah, flat out it works. We have a lot of success growing corn in a full tillage system. That said, I still would love to try strip till. I think there's advantage to that, but it's hard. It's expensive to try. My dad is saying there's a lot of money in farming. The fun part is getting it back out of the farm. Yeah, right. There's all kinds of jokes, right? It's, what does a farmer do when he wins the lottery? Keeps farming until it's gone. Yeah. Wouldn't be hard to do. Why'd you quit putting the numbers on the video on the title? Because it was too much work. And I felt like it was limiting my exposure to new people and limiting how much my channel would grow. That's why. Your brother's conventional and in-law that is no till 1 mile apart. Brother from his point of view cannot buy into it. I don't know. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it doesn't work for us. There's other people that do it different ways. Jeremy, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Hope to motivate, like, comments. Okay, I'll do my best. Help your channel grow. House looks great. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Hello from California. I always see your videos. They're the best. Thank you. I never understood how you don't have a bigger following. By far the best egg YouTuber. I'll tell you why. One, I make too many videos. Two, I'm not funny or entertaining enough. Three, there are too many egg YouTubers, and it is a saturated market. Four, I'm not an attractive girl. That's a big one. We have 6R with an IVT and a foot pedal. Works awesome for loader work. Left hand steer runs left hand reverser. Right hand runs the loader joystick. Right foot runs travel speed. Yep, there you go. How does wheat pencil versus corn and beans only with decent risk of failed double crop? Yeah, I'd have to really sit down and look into the crop budgets to give you a great answer on that. But generally, wheat is a lower return crop than corn or beans, but it is an important crop in our rotation for rotational purposes, for land improvement purposes. So we still plant wheat. When you look at gross returns, corn is by far higher gross. Beans can be a higher gross, but corn has a lot higher expenses than wheat, and beans can have higher expenses than wheat. Bean chemical costs are a lot higher than wheat chemical costs, but the fertilizer cost for the nitrogen, there's give and take with both. But generally, corn has the most potential profit because of the potential for higher yields. Beans you can make really good money on too if we have decent yields, but they're a little bit safer bet without the top end. Wheat is a rotational crop. Double crop gives it some potential. Selling the straw helps, but those are all little things. So, Welker Farms will probably purchase a new big bud to add to their fleet. Yeah, they might. They very well could. Do you know why seed companies pick the seed corn off the field and not combine? I do, because it's gentler on the germ. So we do not care when we harvest corn whether that seed will grow or not. Doesn't matter. Seed corn companies do. And so they pick it, generally picking it a little bit wet. I don't know, maybe 20% moisture or something. They're putting it into a bin on the ear, drying it, very, very low heat with lots of air. And then they shell it once it's dry through a sheller or stationary sheller, because once it's dry, it's more likely to, that kernel's less likely to grind up. You're not gonna damage it. So it's much safer on the seed to do it that way. That's why. Did you purchase new scales for the grain cart? No, not yet. And I'm not going to put new scales on it. We're just going to get a new scale head, right? A new readout system. The scales, the weigh bars and everything are totally fine. And we'll work with lots of different scale systems. Have you looked into how much savings is if one were to have their own Haggy to do fungicide instead of a planer hiring someone? Well, I know what it costs to hire someone, but running a Haggy and owning a Haggy isn't free either. So, I mean, if I wanted to do some custom work, right? So it costs us around $10 an acre to hire it done. A plane, I think, was 13 last year. So if we did 1,000 acres of corn times $10, it's $10,000. Can I justify buying a Haggy for $600,000 to save $10,000 a year when I still have to put fuel and wear and an operator in it? Don't know that I can. Could I do 5,000 acres of corn a year and do some custom work for other people? Probably. Does $50,000 a year pay for it? Now we're talking, right? Now we're talking. So, but I don't know if I want to spray 5,000 acres of corn a year. Tasseled corn. Could be done. Could be done. Teach me to cook steaks and eat dinner. Hello all. Oh, we were eating dinner and missed my live stream. Sorry, Alex. And we're an hour and 24 minutes into this. Is it 10:30? Holy crap. It's past my bedtime, guys. I gotta go to bed soon. You gonna try March beans this year? If it dries out, I will. Yes. When's the new piece of equipment showing up? What new piece of equipment? Do you prefer the new joystick transmission in your 8RX over the original IVT? I didn't when we were planting. I do now. Now that I know how to use it, I think it'll be really nice. Give me another year to answer that for sure. But yeah, I think so. Any data on your Egg Explore products? Did you see anything that jumped out at you? I did not. I did not. That's one of those companies I need to sit down and look at again, but it's not looking good for Egg Explorer. Let's just put it that way. Dustin, thank you. Appreciate that super chat. Thank you for all you do, all the info, knowledge, hard work. Truly spread the word on how family farm keeps the world fed. What you do is have what you have is a treasure that most don't understand. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. So, are you satisfied with Stock Stompers? Yeah. I mean, they did what they said they were going to do. They did a good job. It's frustrating that I have to take them off for going on the header cart, the 1, 2, and that it makes it difficult to hook and unhook the head. But it's okay. Did you use Field View or John Deere Ops Center? I use John Deere Ops Center. I'm not a fan of Field View for various reasons, and I really like John Deere Ops Center, and I know how to use it. So, all right, guys. Got anything else? Let me know real quick here, and we're gonna end it. I'm gonna go to bed. There will not be a video for tomorrow, Tuesday morning. Tomorrow I've got to go pick up some heaters, or a heater, for my seed warehouse north of Detroit. So I'm going to be on the road all day. I might film a little bit of the road trip, but it won't be enough to publish a video Tuesday. So look for one Wednesday morning, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night.